Hi, I'm Bryce Conway. You're listening to the 1002nd Album Podcast, and these are the 5 songs about place that Jeff and I think you should hear.
Hi, I'm Jeff Stephen, and you're listening to the 1002nd Album Podcast. This season, we're talking about must-hear lists, as I continue to ask people that are important to me all about the music that's important to them. Enjoy! Please welcome back to the studio for a third time, Bryce Conway.
Jeff, thanks so much. It's really great to be back.
And delightful to have you here. The topic of choice today is place. And it was an idea that you threw out for our discussion. And what was it that led you to the topic of place for our must-hear 5?
So part of it is honestly that I was thinking, what are the songs I want to talk about? And what will let me talk about those songs? Part of it, though, is that I have thought about my top 5 place songs before. I had a playlist on Spotify already created that are my favorite songs about place. I had to trim it down from about 15, and it currently sits at, I think, 11. So we've got some honorable mentions.
Yeah, and for this one here, it actually, I have you and Dominica actually to thank for this idea for the podcast, where you might remember a trip to co-ed recreational softball last year where we were talking about our favorite William Joel songs. Right, yeah. And Dominica even remarked out loud, this sounds like a podcast.
Oh, that's amazing.
So tip of the hat to you and Dominica for bringing it all in here for season 3. So the topic is place. There are 5 must-hears plus another 6. And so the question is, what was one of your songs for place?
So my first song is a classic Canadian folk tune. It's The Northwest Passage by Stan Rogers.
Nice.
This is a song, it's for those unaware, it's a sea shanty. It's all a cappella with Stan and a few other singers. You might be familiar with Barrett's Privateers. Are you familiar with Barrett's Privateers? Yeah. Are you familiar with Northwest Passage as well?
I'm not offhand.
Totally fair. It's
Stan Rogers, so very much.
Very similar, that kind of classic sea shanty style. It's this sort of comparison between the explorers looking for the Northwest Passage, but also Stan's journey as like a traveling musician driving across the prairies. There's this great line, how then am I so different from the first men through this way? Like them, I left a settled life, I threw it all away. Kind of how he had to leave that all behind to go on tour on the road. It's a wonderful song. Amazing harmonies. There's this great part in the chorus where Stan's brother Garnet does this wonderful high. The word passage, if you're listening to, you'll hear passage and you'll be like, who's that guy singing the high note? Oh, that's Garnet. Yeah. And I just think Stan Rogers is a Canadian folk hero. He's fantastic. The stories about him are fantastic, are just amazing. He died in a plane crash in the 80s, and it's said that the last thing people hear from him was just his big booming voice telling people, that he was going to help them and he was going to help them get off the plane because it was a runway fire, I think, or something like that. So just this crazy guy, this folk hero. I love it. It's a fantastic song, and it's also a song that almost didn't appear on the list because I was talking to my family around the dinner table about which songs we were gonna talk about. And my daughter Isabel, who's 8 years old, suggested that it has to be Northwest Passage, and I had this moment like, oh my god, like how could I almost, because I was telling them what I had, and how could I forget this? It was crazy. So I'm really proud of her for giving me the idea to talk about this one.
Oh, that's great, and an excellent late edition by
for sure.
Well done. Nice. I guess I'll go for one. Are yours in a particular order? Or it's just 5 to be recognized.
You know what? They're in it. I realized afterward that there's this weird 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon thing going on for the first 4, and then the fifth one. This one is just completely
it's just there. Nice. So for mine, my first one that I wrote down links back to the fateful chat that we had about Billy Joel, and specifically the name checking of Vienna. What I found amazing is that I think that was from 1977 or so, and yet in our graduating high school yearbooks from this year, so from students graduating in 2025, 2 students quoted this song in their grad statement, so neat to see it still resonating. Super cool. Yeah, a few decades later. And you can never go wrong with a song that features an accordion solo.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it was brought back to me recently where they're called, I believe it's the Middle-Aged Dad Band, where it's Ken Marino and a few other dudes. They cover this song, and Weird Al came in to do the accordion solo for it. So yeah, Vienna, Billy Joel, lovely tune. And I really could have gone with many Billy. I contemplated Allentown.
Yeah, Allentown. Yeah, that's a great one too.
Yeah, New York State of Mind,
yep.
Scenes from an Italian Restaurant, all
for sure.
Very place-based. But ended up going with Vienna by William Joel.
Scenes from an Italian Restaurant was on the short list. Before it became a slightly shorter list.
Yes.
As well. There was that debate of like,
down to 11.
How specific does the place have to be?
Yes.
Right?
I like it. So we've got Northwest Passage, we've got Vienna. Where to next?
So my next one is also a Canadian folk song. I don't think you'll have heard this one, but it's another recommendation for those that haven't heard it. It's called "The Longest Road" by a Canadian folkie named Stephen Fearing. Stephen Fearing is a guy who was born in Canada and then immigrated to Ireland when he was like 8 or 9 years old or something like that. And the song is about his family's journey moving back to Canada after missing it for so long and having not really been here and knowing it's kind of a part of his identity, but not having experienced it for such a long time. If you're going to listen to it, listen to the one on the live album. I don't remember what the name of the album is, but it's like a yellow and black cover. That's the one you want. And it's got this amazing guitar tone. It's just him and a guitar, no other instruments, just the two. And it feels so full. There's this great sense of that feeling that there's more instruments than there actually are, which is weird because he plays it, I think, with a capo on like the 6th or 7th fret or something like that. A great lyric. This is probably my favorite song lyric maybe ever in the history of music. And it's, "Oh Canada, the first country of my youth, my heart was ever drawn to you like a tongue to a broken tooth." Just love it. When I was a kid, the reason this song is on my list is because when I was a kid, my dad used to be involved in folk festivals, and he was. We were living in Athabasca, Alberta, and way before Stephen Fearing was famous, probably this was like in 1991 or something like that. He was invited to play at a folk festival, and so my dad went to the airport to pick him up. He ended up staying at our house, during which time my dad and Stephen Fearing were talking about, have you heard this new documentary they made on Stan Rogers? And Stephen hadn't heard it, so they tried to put the VHS into the
VCR,
the player, the VCR, right? Yeah, and I had taped over it. So years later, my dad and I are at a folk festival, and we watch Stephen Fearing, and we go and we have a CD, and we ask him to sign it for us, and he writes on the CD case, "How's the VCR?" So just an awesome story of a great guy that has an amazing memory, evidently. But yeah, a great one. If you've not heard of it, he's another great Canadian folk artist.
Nice. The Longest Road. I like it. Nice. We'll stick with the CanCon for my second one, and I initially was continuing with the Vienna theme, and I had the hip "Springtime in Vienna," but at like 13 minutes before you arrived, I scratched it out and switched it to the Tragically Hip song "Looking for a Place to Happen," because I couldn't resist the place actually being completely named checked. Yeah. So the also from my favorite of their albums, Fully Completely, it's the second track. So it was a very formative album for me as a kid. It also had the first example of some cursing that I remember in a tune as well, so it stood out for that reason. And just a great like heavy riff to it. Like it starts off with a nice slide down to the E5 and just chugs along, and is a wonderful one. Looking for a Place to Happen. I guess you could have picked any number of Tragically Hip songs, because whether it's Bob Cage,
of course, that's the one I was actually thinking might show up.
Or you name it. They've done a great job of teaching me Canadian geography over the years, and so ended up going with Looking for a Place to Happen.
Nice.
And the round 3, what are you thinking?
So round 3, in keeping with naughty language and songs, this is one that has absolutely filthy lyrics at times, but just is so cheerful and wonderful. I'm picking "Fairy Tale of New York" by the Pogues. There's this great stark juxtaposition between that filthiness and the like just warm fuzzy feeling that you get. It's a Christmas song. It's probably my favorite Christmas song. But again, weirdly enough, we have that connection to Stephen Fearing, where we have this story of like an Irish immigrant, which is really cool. I really like the transition where it starts off as this sort of slow 4/4 time signature on piano, and then as soon as it gets going, it kind of turns into this Irish jig. It's in like 3/4 or 6/8 or something. So it's really nice. It just kind of starts off slow and then kind of builds, which gives me warm fuzzy feelings. Yeah. It's just a great one.
Excellent choice. And it is one of those, like, despite being a holiday song, it's year round.
That's the real test, right? Of a good holiday song, right? Can you listen to it outside of those times of year, right? And so,
and that one's a resounding yes.
Absolutely,
And absolutely. The piano at the beginning is just so gorgeous too.
Like, so nice.
Right? Wonderful, wonderful choice.
I really also, that song does something that very few songs do these days, which is just a nice fade out.
Yes,
it's got a great fade out. You know?
It's not an abrupt end. That's great. I opted for going more the, I guess, holidays, but rather than being winter, much more of a summer vibe, where I opted for both the place and weather conditions in a song with Weezer's Island in the Sun.
Oh, wonderful.
And it's one of those great songs. I remember my good friend in university said, this is a song they'd wish they'd written. And it's so true because it's E minor, A minor, D, G.
So
it's like so simple yet devastatingly effective. Like that opening pattern just immediately sets the vibe, which is awesome. And the drummer does this great detail where instead of hitting the crash cymbal on the downbeat, I often like when they wait till the first beat of the next, or the second beat. This time he always hits it on the fourth beat, so it's like just before the downbeat. And so it's something, just those little details that I love. But yeah, Island Sun, Weezer, for many reasons, but it's place and weather conditions that I can really get behind.
and that's another great one for if anyone ever does instantly recognizable songs, right? Which is a fantastic category. Someone, I think it would be a great one. That's like immediately before the end of the first chord, you're like, I know what I'm listening to.
I recognize that chord. Nice. The question is, what is the fourth song of choice?
So we're gonna stay on the Billy Joel train. I'm not gonna make you guess, but I bet you could guess. It's New York State of Mind.
Nice.
So that would have been my Joel. Vienna is a great pick, but New York State of Mind is a song that I listened to just as a kid. It's one of those songs that my dad always had on in the house, right? So we just kind of just absorbed so much of it. It's classic 70s Joel. So simple at the start with just him and the piano, and then we kind of have this gradual, the instruments coming in one at a time. We get a little bass, then the drums, and then the strings, and then the really amazing saxophone solo. It kind of slows down near the end. We have just Billy and his piano, and then everything comes back in again to finish it off. So it's just a really, really tight, but also a very long 6 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's also like shockingly slow. It's one of those songs where if you're kind of like tapping your foot along with it, you're like, wow, this is just a slow song. It's just so great.
It is.
It feels like a perfect driving around at nighttime song. Yep. It's just, in fact, that's another playlist I gotta drive around.
And then much like whereas the Weezer, it creates that instant like summer vibe. This one creates that nighttime vibe, sure. like right off the bat too, which is great.
And I've been to New York, but prior to going to New York, I would listen to the song and think to myself, like, man, like New York, what an amazing place. But I'm 13 and I've never been.
Right.
It's just can almost make you nostalgic for a place you've never even experienced, right?
I like that. And that would be fitting for my number 4, where it's a place I don't think I'll ever end up, and it's actually, and I love when songs have punctuation in their titles. It's David Bowie, Life on Mars.
Oh, great.
That's
right. That's right.
Yeah. So, Bowie. It's high time I had Bowie appear on a list at some point. The chorus is just out of this world. Just the how he's flying through those notes, and again, it's I won't make you sit through a Bowie impression, but it's so fun to.
I've got time.
It's so fun to sing along with the Freakiest Show, or that's where it's all his sort of Bowie-isms in a lot of the lyrics there. But just a great, and it leaves you wanting more too, where they do that chorus twice, but it's like I could go for one more, but nope, we're done there. And definitely my fourth place one, Life on Mars, David Bowie.
Great pick. And I almost busted out the impression of Northwest Passage. I was like, we're like 5 minutes into the podcast. Do you think if I nail this note, it'll be worth it? But I decided also not to take the risk.
We'll let people explore on their own. That's good. Nice. The question is, will there be then an elusive overlap on the fifth one?
I would be shocked, but maybe. I thought we might have some overlap with the Billy Joel. We were close. We had the artist
overlap.
Different song.
Yeah.
But my number 5 is Weird Al Yankovic's Albuquerque.
Thanks.
Yes. It's 11 and a half minutes of just pure chaos, describing the events of a man's life as he wins a first-class one-way ticket to Albuquerque. So many crazy things happen. The song is basically just spoken word, with the exception of the chorus, where he just shouts Albuquerque. At one point he tries to spell Albuquerque. He gets to A-L-B-U, and then we've got like 10 seconds of silence, and he shouts Kirky right at the end after having given up. But it's such a fun song. Music doesn't always have to be serious. It's really just it's a lot of fun. He actually, I think, meant the song to be annoying. His plan was to, I'm going to write this really annoying 11.5-minute song about Albuquerque, New Mexico. And it is, but it's also just so much fun. Yeah. It's got heavy guitar riffs. There's great drum rolls before every chorus. And I want to just share a random sampling of the lyrics here.
Please do.
The lyrics, by the way, there's so many lyrics because we don't really have a traditional verse-chorus structure. It's just him talking about Albuquerque. He says at one point, "But I made a solemn vow right then and there that I would not rest, I would not sleep for an instant until the one-nostriled man was brought to justice," which I just love. That's classic Weird Al.
Yeah, that's great. And I did mention Weird Al earlier, like on the cover of Vienna. He played
that's right. Yeah. Nice.
Unintended overlap there too. Yeah. That's great. And it was a one-way ticket was the prize.
Yeah, that's right. A first-class one-way ticket.
So once you're in Albuquerque,
very important.
You stay in Albuquerque.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's Weird Al, great. And if there was a list of underappreciated movies, UHF would be near the top of my list as well. So excellent call. Actually, fittingly, my fifth one, they have a great sense of humor as well. It's not only a place, but it's a place that was formerly known as something else. I went with They Might Be Giants, Istanbul, not Constantinople.
Oh, I love They Might Be Giants, but I don't know that song.
Oh, it's wonderful. And I hadn't realized it was a cover. A group called the Four Lads did it, I guess, many decades previously, and they did a version of it, I think on Flood. And it's unbelievely catchy. And the because it's like Istanbul, not Constantinople.
Oh, I do know the original version. I think of the song. Right? Yes, yeah.
And there's a hoot. It's got the parentheses in the title, so it's Istanbul, and then in brackets, not Constantinople. So so catchy. That would be my number
Good
5.
List. I'm sad we didn't have any overlap, but I feel like we have overlap in spirit.
That's right. And I guess it's such an open-ended category that it would have been very impressive if we did have overlap, given the subject material that we could have done. I'm curious as a cat, though, what were some of those ones that just missed the cat?
So I've got 2 that I really wanted to put on, and then a few that I was like, you're okay. You can be an honorable mention. The first honorable mention was Woodstock by Joni Mitchell. Yeah. Which it's such a cool, dreamy song. And she wasn't even at Woodstock. This is something I learned only very recently, because she had to, I think, do like the Dick Cavett show, I think the next day or something. So her manager was like, you shouldn't go. So she didn't go, which is wild. But it's awesome. And the cover by Crosby, Stills and Nash is also fantastic as well. So just a great one. Another one for me was Chicago by Sufjan Stevens.
Nice.
Which is a total high school banger for me. It's like one of the songs that at 17 years old I listened to, and I thought, whoa, this is the type of music that I'm going to listen to for the rest of my life. Just a cool song with tons of instrumentation and just weird stuff going on that I wasn't really used to when I heard it for the first time. I've got Australia by the Shins. Yeah. That's a classic. Fun, bouncy. I have Africa by Toto. As you should. Which I think a lot of people would probably have it on their list. I think that's an important one. I have Take Me Home, Country Roads by John Denver. And the last one was Bob Cajun, only because I feel like you can't make a list like that without having a hip song.
Yes. One must. Yeah. And with John Denver, of course, referencing West Virginia.
That's right, yes.
Good. And was it Illinois? Was that the name of the album?
Come on, Feel the Illinois.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, and tons of so many of his songs are geography based. It's great. He has a Michigan album.
Oh, perfect. No, all good picks. And again, that's the nice problem that we had so many good ones that we wanted to reference that they just had to be on separate sides of the van, and that's good too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent. Well, a huge thank you for coming back again, Bryce.
Thank you so much.
Until round 4.
Awesome. Thanks, Jeff.
This has been the 1000-Second Album Podcast. Thanks for sharing some of your time, energy, and attention with us today. Take care.